What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What the f happened?
What just happened? I'm Dan. This is Jules. And today we're going to be covering season 3, episode 9 of Servant, called Commitment. Sadly, there's only one episode left, Jules, because I'm not going to lie. I just got to get this out right off the bat. This was my least favorite episode of this season so far.
I am inclined to agree with that. I feel like we didn't get the normal like jam-packed episode of surprises that we normally get.
Yeah, and it's going to feed the haters to be like, see, I told you this season sucks. This season's been great. It's been great. Like, look at the last 5 weeks. We were so spoiled with so many what just happened moments happening. And it was just amazing. But I do have a theory, like, why they put this episode in now. I'll say that towards the end. But I wanted to start off by reading a comment from a frequent commenter, Billy, which, by the way, get your comments in and subscribe. I don't know when we're going to do the reading of who wins the $50 gift card. Probably when we do the last fan theory video. You think that's fair?
I would say so.
Okay, so we're going to do, obviously, next week, and then we're going to do the final fan theory video that we want you guys to focus on theories for season 4. So that would make sense. So we see the whole season, get your theories in for season 4. That'll be the final fan theory video. And then, of course, we're going to go and vlog the filming locations. And they're currently filming right now. We might run into somebody. And if we do, you better believe it. We're going to try to get an interview. We're going to like, hey, we have a a servant show on YouTube, and it's great. We have so many people that comment. So
listen, I think we could do it. We're charismatic. We're fun.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I want to read this now because I think it does play into the themes of what we saw this episode. And we could circle back to this comment a few times if need be. So, Billy, it seemed to me that Leanne is able to control Julian. He was acting like a puppet and being her servant in this episode. Leanne resurrected Julian after all, so they must have some sort of connection. Because people don't forget, he overdosed and she did bring him back. So that is very, very possible that could be, and not the only person that she has control over, because I think that was a theme this episode, that she really does have control over some people. Getting into this episode, Dorothy's freaked out because she confronts, and by the way, how many times do I say Dorothy's freaked out or Dorothy is not good? Like, she's losing it. She's losing her mind.
Yeah. I think this episode really highlights that.
Right. So she pretty much asked Leanne, like, why did you look happy when Isabel died? And I think we saw that coming, and that puts the theory away that Dorothy was also happy too, because she was not. We had someone comment that before that we read in the fan theory video. Leanne's response was, I wanted to help you. So doesn't that pretty much make Leanne admit that she had something to do with it?
Yeah, that's exactly what that says to me anyway. I mean, I don't know what other kind of connection that could make from that.
And I think Dorothy knew that by the way she looked at her, and she was happy. And her excuse was like, hey, she was going to expose you. I was doing this for you. But in any case, that doesn't help Dorothy's opinion, because she's already scared of her. I'll say scared loosely. She just wants her gone. And that could be another reason on, hey, she's got to go. She's fucking killing people now. So interesting plot point there. And then Leanne's looking for Julian's drugs. Now, I don't know if it was anything else besides weed, because Julian was okay with her smoking weed. So maybe he was looking for a different type of stash. But Julian's like, I can't have those around. Like, if I do it, I can't stop. She seemed a little upset about it. All of a sudden, they have sexy time. And did you notice when she held up the bath towel to cover the surveillance camera, right away I was like, dude, if I hang out my towels after I get a shower like that, they're gonna fall. Like that was the most faulty
Yeah.
block ever.
Yeah, I feel like she wasn't really trying that hard. She doesn't care if Dorothy sees that.
I
Let's
think
be.
she might have wanted Dorothy to see it
Probably.
in a weird, sick way. I don't know what's gonna go on with that. Then the next scene, we see Sean preparing another epic meal. I wonder if he can really cook like that, Toby Kebbell, the actor, or if he took cooking classes, because that dude makes stuff look good.
I'm sure most of it isn't him, but I imagine you learn at least something from all of that. Like people who play like roles where they have to talk about like really smart things. Like I imagine you probably retain some of that information, you know?
Yeah. Dorothy turns down the meal. She goes to get some cereal. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like the same type of maggot deal that Sean found in that wine cellar where the wine
Yeah.
bottle should have been. It was very
Mhm.
similar, right?
Yeah, it looked the same to me.
So where are they coming from?
Ugh, I don't know. The house, I guess.
Mm, I I I kind of have a theory like if Leanne uses her powers in a way she's not supposed to, then that's kind of one of the repercussions of it. Because she's not supposed to be killing people; they're supposed to be helping people.
I mean, that would make sense because I feel like when things happen to the house itself, that's kind of the case,
Yeah,
right?
that's true. Yeah, yeah, it's true. How'd you like the part where Dorothy was, so Dorothy's been a bitch to her for weeks, and then all of a sudden she tries to be buddy buddy and be like, Sean and I had marriage problems,
No,
and
no, no. There's
you know
no
what I
way that
mean.
Leanne didn't find that suspicious.
She had to.
Come on.
She
There's
had to.
no way just suddenly everything's fine. Please. No.
Yeah. But yeah, while she's trying to be nice to her and gather evidence to try to get her out of there, she sees the scars on her back. So clearly she didn't go to the recognizing a cult member school because that was rule 3. Like, why are you surprised she has scars on her back? That's what they used to do. They punish themselves.
Well, I mean, she had to have some idea. That's why she like wanted to get her to try on some of her clothes because she saw in her book the drawing of her with like the marks on her back.
Exactly. Like she should have known that. And maybe she did know that, but she's just playing up the fact like, Leanne, you really need help. Like trying to open her
Well,
mind up to
yeah.
that idea. Dorothy asks her father Frank to bring her, I guess disguised as a psychiatrist or a therapist of some sort, Dr. Mackenzie. It's her goal to have her committed. But Leanne was open to the idea if Dorothy were to join her in the session. So she still wants Dorothy's respect, but there's a lot going on that Dorothy is hiding from her. It was never, ever her intention to do the session together. And of course, when the guy shows up, Leanne's first thing was, I thought we were doing this together. What do you get
Mhm.
out of that? Like another time someone lied to her. She does not like being lied to at all.
Yeah, no. I'm kind of curious as to what she thought was going to come out of that, like them doing the session together.
Her main goal was for this guy to talk to her, get freaked out, and be like, yeah, she needs to go away. Dorothy was just trying to do anything in her power to make that happen. But when he shows up with Frank, Frank shows up also. Then they go, all right, Leanne, it's your turn. And she was all upset. I thought we were doing this together. I love the fact that we did not see what they talked about, Leanne and Dr. Mackenzie. She could have put a trance on that guy too.
People know she's a little weird anyway because of how she grew up. So I feel like it wouldn't be that hard for her to convince him otherwise, even without putting some kind of trance on him, you know?
Yeah. And what does Dorothy do with this time where Leanne's getting help? She decides to go snoop again, gets caught by Julian. And I love that Julian is so quick to be like, what are you doing? He's done that many times this season where he's like, don't fuck with Leanne. And she just won't get it. She just
No
won't
one
get it.
listens to Julian ever.
Yeah, I know. And I think he's made mistakes in the past, but he's doing well. And he honestly seems to have his mindset in the correct place, maybe more than anyone, because Sean knows that there's a situation where he could lose Jericho if Leanne goes away, but he's always just trying to cook, be a family man. He's never actually looking at the deeper picture, trying to figure out what's going on. But Julian is, unless, like I said, he's under a trance. It's also very possible it could go either way. He's thinking of the bigger picture, where Dorothy is thinking, get her gone. And Sean just
Yeah, but
wants
to
everything to be
Dorothy,
together.
she probably thinks he just wants her around because he gets some ass from her now and then.
But
But like in reality, he's trying to protect everybody.
yeah, but we're on the same page that Sean knows there's a connection, that you get rid of Leanne,
Yeah, he
Jericho's
has to.
gone too, right? Do you think
has to.
Julian has some kind of inclination on that as well?
Yeah, I think that's the whole reason why he doesn't want her to leave. I think he
Yeah.
knows. Well, because from the last time when they tried to take her to the dance camp,
Yeah.
Jericho turned
Oh,
back
yeah,
to the
yeah.
dog. He's like, "Told you guys, this is dumb. Stop doing this."
Yep.
So yeah, I think if anyone
No
was
shot.
convinced,
So then Leanne gets out of her session, and then we get kind of a twist here. Dorothy goes in for her session. You know, she says the same rhetoric we've been hearing. She doesn't trust her. She's frightened by her. Something bad is going to happen if she sticks around. But then when Frank shows up to talk to Dr. Mackenzie and Dorothy, we find out he was sent there for Dorothy, not for Leanne. That was like backfire city.
yeah, I wasn't expecting that, but in hindsight, I probably should have, because it makes sense. Like she's the only one saying that this girl is like bad news, and everyone's like, she's fine. What is she talking about? So it kind of makes sense that her dad was like, oh, maybe we should get her checked out too.
And then we had a quick scene where Leanne was talking to one of her Leannisters, and we found out that the main guy is missing, and all they had is
Yeah,
his.
what was that about?
Yeah, all they have is his shirt. I have a theory that Vera kidnapped him. I'm always gonna blame shit on Vera, always, until I figure out she's not in the cult. But yeah, he's missing. So something's up with that. We better get an aunt or an uncle appearance next episode, and hopefully find some more information out about that specifically. Because why would he leave? He's getting free food. He's with his people. He likes protecting Leanne. He wouldn't leave on his own free will, is what I'm getting at. He just wouldn't.
Unless he's some kind of like double agent, but I feel like he seems very committed to Leanne.
I trust him. I do. Okay, so getting back to Dr. Mackenzie's thoughts on Dorothy. Pretty much, he was like, yeah, we're here to evaluate you. They are worried, saying she has paranoid fixation with Leanne, which is true. Spot on.
Yeah.
So while they're trying to talk to her to maybe going away and get treatment, who's there to back her up? Leanne. She says she's a good mother, and hey, she has no problem with me holding Jericho, even though she was like, you'll never hold Jericho again. But
well,
now
yeah, I mean, if it's between letting her hold Jericho and getting thrown in the loony bin, I think she's gonna let her hold Jericho.
Yeah, so Leanne's holding Jericho. She's singing him a song. Dorothy locks herself in the basement or in a bathroom. Like I said, completely backfiring this situation. But Leanne was there for her. Don't know what her end goal is. Some people have the theories that she wants to take over as the woman in the house, but I don't know how that would work, because she's sleeping with Julian, even though Julian offered to move in. There's two things going on here. Like, Dorothy's still very untrusting, but when she needed someone to have her back, Leanne was the only person to have her back. Everybody else was pretty much confused. Even Sean was like, what's going on here? What's going on here? He's left in the dark. So I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, Leanne is either, so obsessed with Dorothy that she has this undying loyalty to her, or she's biding her time before something big happens.
Yeah, she is biding. Yeah. Good point. She really is. What I get out of this episode is pretty much everyone outside of Dorothy is under a trance from Leanne. Pretty much everyone. You know, Sean won't budge about kicking her out. Julian doesn't know how to stop sleeping with her. And it even seemed like Frank, the father, and obviously Dr. Mackenzie took Leanne's side over Dorothy. Now, I hope we eventually see what they were talking about when it was Leanne's turn. But at the same time, I love they omitted it because it gives us a chance to think, what could have happened there? Really cool, interesting choice. But overall, this episode was, I don't want to say filler, but it seemed like the wrong time to have this episode to be the one right before the finale.
I will say, after watching this episode, I was thinking of it with the frame of mind of what Andy had been talking about with his comments on our theory video about how this could be framed, from the perspective of Dorothy having DID. And I think that puts an interesting twist on this episode. And I think that would kind of explain why this is where it is, because it shows how much Dorothy's like truly devolving right now. And maybe she's kind of starting to figure out what is going on in her head, if this is really mostly going on in her head. So that would make sense to have that before the last episode, but just a thought.
Yeah. Are you still expecting the season finale to be bonkers? You think they'll pick back up?
I'm really hoping so. I feel like they're going to have some kind of crazy cliffhanger before the last season. So
wouldn't it be crazy?
It has to be.
Wouldn't it be crazy if we lost the main character?
No.
You're not ready for it?
Who do you think it would be realistically?
Of anyone, Dorothy. Of anyone, if I had to guess.
Like that would, I don't know if I could see the last season without Dorothy though, because so much of the drama revolves around her.
Yeah.
And without Dorothy, there's no one, going against Leanne. So what's the point?
Yeah. And we would never get to see the moment where Dorothy truly does remember. So yeah, that's not going to happen. I take that back. But I do think in the series, like the next season, when it's the final season, we are going to lose a main character or two.
I feel like it has to. It's been so long without that happening.
Yeah, it really has been. Okay, so that pretty much wraps it up. It was a quick episode, but we have some comments to go over, and then I have stuff to ask of you guys after we read these comments. So what do we got first?
So this one is from Kizenbell, and Kizenbell says, I wonder with the news coverage of shootouts we have seen in each season and the comment Officer Reyes made in season 2 to Sean after the Marino shootout, quote, do you know what it takes to hurt your own family? People aren't born like that. It's not natural. Mr. Marino was hurting, his wife was sick, and he refused to cope with the pain. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your wife needs help, end quote. It makes me wonder if there will be some shootout or something very tragic at the Turner house because of the pain of not properly grieving Jericho's death, which I think is interesting. Again, considering how we're really seeing the toll that this is taking on Dorothy's mental health.
Yeah.
It's very possible that something like that will happen soon.
Yeah, and it goes back to the comment earlier where, there will be consequences. There's going to be consequences on bringing a doll, in my opinion, back to life to make Jericho 2. And there's going to be consequences with Dorothy facing the truth. It's going to happen. So yeah, great comment. Yeah, and Kizenbell, you're on fire. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah. Our second comment is from Marie Tremblay, another return commenter, who says, according to me, Leanne is not evil in a traditional way. She was like an angel in season 1, and this dysfunctional family and now this house just got through her soul. Now she's like a fallen angel who gets satisfied displaying her powers. She wants to be respected and enjoys the idolatry displayed by her homeless followers. I think Leanne embodies the purity which is soiled by irresponsible and selfish human beings. I thought that was a really cool way to look at that.
Yeah, it is. And that reminds me, the guy who's missing, she's going to want to find that guy.
Oh, yeah.
She loves her followers. She loves her Leannisters. And they seem pretty worried. The woman with the shaved head, when she was talking about it, it's like, Hey, he's missing. We don't know where he's at. Someone took him. Somebody had to take. Unless he's a double agent, I just
I
don't
don't
see
see it
that.
happening.
I don't
Like
see it either.
it's a theory, but a far-fetched one, I think.
All right, yeah. My official theory is Vera lured him into somewhere, kidnapped him, and maybe he's visiting the Hook Man. Maybe.
I guess we'll find out. Maybe Roscoe helped.
Oh my gosh, Roscoe. Make a prediction. Will we see the Hook Man in the season finale or not until next season?
Oh, it's tough. I'm gonna say not till next season.
I agree.
I think it's too soon.
Yeah, I agree. Here's the questions I want you guys to comment about. What is up with these maggots? Where do they come from? Is it just something that happens when Leanne uses her powers in maybe a bad way? Will Leanne face consequences on using her powers in the bad way? How long until the basement cracks again? And if anyone, I'm looking at you, Andy, you write books, Kizenbell, Marie Tremblay, anybody who has a theory on this, what causes the house to break? We still don't have a solid theory on that yet. We had a couple of people take a shot at it, but I want you guys to really think what causes this to happen. Even just the maggots, the bees we had earlier this season, the cracks in the floor, the shaking of the house. It's like there's an earthquake just at that house. So very confused by that.
I'm trying to come up with an answer and I can't.
Yeah, it's tough. So that's why I want to open the floor for you guys to do it. As always, make sure you subscribe, comment. The $50 movie gift card of your choice is coming very soon. And it looks like, by my count, we have 3 more servant videos left. We got next week, we got the final fan theory, and then we have the vlog. And give us some shows. If you guys have a show you'd like us to check out, for it to be what just happened style, it needs to be some kind of mystery. But if not, we'll do it in a different type of style, like we did for the after party, even though that was technically a mystery, but it was like a comedy. So what shows do you guys want to see us do it next? We're just getting started here on YouTube. There's always going to be me and Jules breaking down shows, and it's a lot of fun. We thank you guys so much. The compliments mean the world to us. It really does. And yeah, what's going to happen next week? Get your theories in for next week as well. How will this season end? Who comes out on top? I don't know.
I guess we'll see.
All right. Get your theories in. As always, thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
Bye, guys.